Hey everyone, welcome to the Saga, the Clone Saga.
Wait, is that on purpose or was it just muscle memory at this point?
No, that was on purpose. This is a shitty gag. So the students of S.H.I.E.L.D, the extended students of S.H.I.E.L.D, a bunch of us, about a dozen or so, went to Philadelphia Comic Con or whatever it's called, Wizard World Philadelphia. I'm not sure. On Saturday, May
19th.
And the day before, we went to see Deadpool 2 together, and it was all fun. And then at the con, we had some great memories. We bought some stuff, and a few of us, 4 of us right now, are going to show you what we got, and maybe others will do a second part later. So my name is Vincent Faust, and I'm joined with...
I'm Matt Ford.
I'm Dan McNamara.
And I'm Michael Spack.
Go subscribe to Mandac on YouTube.
He's the sponsor in the last episode of the Saga of the Clone Saga.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, was I actually the sponsor?
I don't know. Go watch the episode and find out.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
So I will start off. I bought a bunch of singles at one vendor. At the end of the day, I spent like... Dan, how long do you think I was there at that singles vendor?
Ooh, probably about 2 hours.
No.
Hour and a half.
I was thinking 45 minutes, but...
I think about a dozen, Jerry.
It was at least an hour.
All right. Well, this vendor, it was $2 single issues. And so I was sitting there going through the entire alphabet, but then also cross-referencing with mycomicshop.com, because any issues from like the 80s through most of the 90s are $1.70 each there. So $2, not really. Even the ones I bought, I don't think any of them were really good deals. But I found 10 of them, so I wasted $20 there. We have Bloodshot 34 and Eternal Warrior 5 adding to the Valiant collection.
Of course.
And then we have 3 issues of Fantastic Four, 347 to 349. And these are big deal issues because it's part of the Walt Simonson run, and it introduces the new Fantastic Four.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so, but I need this for some Ghost Rider stuff.
Custom bind.
And then I got 1 issue of Firestorm, number 93, the end of the Elemental War. And so now I think out of the 100 issues in the second series, I think I'm down to needing 3 or 4. And then a few more appearances. Here is Green Arrow Annual 1, which is part of the Fables crossover. The bag and boards are kind of reflecting up. And this is a crossover with The Question and Batman in Detective Comics. Here's an issue of Icon from Milestone. And here are 2 issues of Swamp Thing, two Swamp Thing annuals, which I think are one of the few good deals from like singles at price at that, because annuals are typically more expensive just because of the page count. I don't really know exactly what happens in this, but this is a big deal because it has a Neil Gaiman story, which is usually collected along like his anthology books or whatever when DC puts those out. So now at another vendor, I picked up 2 books. These were $5 each, so it's a good deal. Nick Fury versus S.H.I.E.L.D, which is a prestige format miniseries written by Bob Harris, who eventually became editor-in-chief. And it led into an ongoing series, which somehow lasted 45 issues through the 90s.
That's insane.
And
it's really insane because if you try to read that book like I did, I only got like an issue. Like, it's like what? How many issues is it?
6.
It's
we're going up to like
yeah,
2.5 issues in. It's so wordy, I had to put it down. Like it's like the words are compressed in there.
Well, the crazy thing also, just talking about this book just a bit, some more. So this was originally published, this series in, all right, I can't find it super quickly in here, but it's either 88 or 89. And they were $3.50 per issue in 88 for 6 issues, which like, I don't know who was paying that back then.
Yeah.
It's not a bad story though. Like I should say, it's very, very written in its time.
Yeah, the miniseries is fine, and actually, I think the art is really cool because it has a very subdued coloring. That's not really the right word, but the coloring's pretty cool in this. I'm not going to hold it up to the camera because it's not really going to show. But it's actually pretty influential too, because a lot of the stuff in the Winter Soldier movie, like a lot of the themes in particular, are specifically lifted from this, because the idea of S.H.I.E.L.D. possibly being remotely corrupt or like infiltrated, that was never introduced until this in like '88. But the ongoing series is like all kinds of. The ongoing series also mostly got like entirely retconned by a one shot like a year later. So, but the ongoing series is somehow fully collected. If anyone is interested in that.
Didn't you say it just became fully collected?
Yeah, it was originally 3 trades. It was like Nick Fury, Agent. They might have the classic tag on them or something, like Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Classic, and there were 3 of them, and then they stopped. And then like recently, maybe around Winter Soldier, they put out I think whenever they were doing the Hydra crap on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they put out a 4th trade, but it's called like Nick Fury Hydra Reborn or something like that, which is like sometimes Marvel, if they cut off a series and then come back to it later, they'll put like some weird subtitle, and like if you're a collector, but otherwise it's confusing. And then here's Avengers West Coast, Along Came a Spider-Woman, which there's a tiny bit, there's like 2 issues double dipping, but this picks up after the John Byrne run, and it involves a lot of development for Julia Carpenter, Spider-Woman. And this is all written by Roy and Dan Thomas, and it's really not good at all. But it comes right after, so whatever. Now, here's another stack from another vendor. This guy had some nice deals, and I think foremost among them, this is Thor: War of the Pantheons Epic Collection. And this is the beginning of the Tom DeFalco and Ron Frenz run on the book, which takes place directly after Walt Simonson's run. And so obviously Walt Simonson's run is considered like the most influential and arguably the best run on Thor. And so it's cool to have what's directly after. And this run, especially due to the art by Ron Frenz, it's kind of a Kirby throwback, or at least as much as you could get in the very late 80s. And I like the idea of this run for the first like half of it or whatever, and then eventually get into some Eric Masterson stuff, which I don't think really happens in this epic yet, but there's one more after this, and maybe there will be more. And then the seller also had a bunch of Rebirth books. So I picked up Aquaman Volume 2 and 3, and I have the first one, so maybe I'll binge those soon. I'm really excited about Rebirth Aquaman because I've read word of mouth and seen some excerpts of some stuff that seems interesting to me. And then I picked up Batman Volume 2, I Am Suicide, and Superman Volume 3, Multiplicity, which I don't own any of the previous volumes of these 2 series, but I intended to pick them up eventually. So now I just have reason to get the previous volumes.
For Batman, you're gonna need Volume 1.
Yeah, I think for Batman, I'll probably get 1 and 3 at some point, and then read those because they're all like the I Am stuff, and
the whole trilogy there.
Yeah, and then 4 gets into 4 is all flashbacks.
5 Superman though, so like you can probably just grab them all for a very nice order.
Yeah.
Superman though is largely self-contained arcs, so honestly, if you want to read that, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
I will say though, Volume 3 is a little bit of a disappointment.
It is. Multiplicity. We don't need to do a Multiplicity review right now, but it's 3 issues, and I think it needed at least 1 more. It's very rushed.
Especially if you read Multiversity by Grant Morrison, it would have been cooler to have that last a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And then the last book I picked up from that seller is X-Men Legacy Necrosha. And that moves into the chunk from the next vendor, which is another copy of this book. Because I have no idea how I fucked this up.
Didn't you do this on the Harrisburg trip too?
Well, yes, but that was a book like that I already owned at home. Like this time I literally bought two of the same book at the same time.
That is insane.
I have no idea, but whatever. I mean, I'll try and figure something out with that.
Wait, real quick. Can I see the spine?
Yeah. What,
Okay, you signed for $5 for $5.
5 or 4? 4 is fine.
I'll take it.
All right.
Cool.
There you go, Vince.
To justify it.
All right, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll give it to you next time you see. I think you'll enjoy it. It has like a 3-issue arc, which, I mean, Necrosha's more. Well, the Necrosha crossover is really within X-Force,
Right.
and I think X-Force and New Mutants. But like the Legacy stuff, it's kind of more of a thematic tie-in, similar to like how, often there are crossovers where it's more thematic and they don't series don't explicitly cross over.
Yeah.
And so the 3-issue arc deals with Proteus, and Magneto does some stuff, and then there's like a Rogue spotlight issue at the end.
Cool.
Where Rogue, quote unquote, has to choose between her suitors, which are Magneto and Gambit.
Oh, okay.
Spoilers, she doesn't really choose either of them. And like the Magneto thing kind of only like one writer past the 90s, which is Mike Carey, like plays with that.
Okay. Well, I mean, I like Proteus, and I saw Colossus on the cover, so I'm in.
Didn't Necrosha and Blackest Night come out the same summer and basically were the same story?
I'm not sure the timeline, but it's definitely. I mean, it is
definitely within the same year.
Yeah. So then this other seller, which was also their last year, which I'm a big fan of, he does a buy 5 for $20 sale or whatever. Otherwise, every book's $5, but if you get 5 in a chunk, then it's 20. So that's real cheap. You try and find the thick trades, but I didn't really find any huge ones this year. I know Dan bought didn't you buy the ForceWorks book from him last year?
I'm not sure what I bought from him last year. I don't know. I didn't buy ForceWorks though, but I bought a shit ton this year. That's for sure.
Yeah. But occasionally, like for example, he had the Star Brand collections in that section, which like those are thicker books, so it's good value. But I was happy nonetheless to just check things off the list. So the Necrosha book again, and then X-Men Legacy Aftermath. And so that finishes my collection of X-Men Legacy, including the 2 arcs not by Mike Carey.
Wait, I don't mean to derail everything again. Didn't you sell me that book, Aftermath?
I may have. I'm pretty sure I gave it to Natalia or something. Or maybe I gave it to you. I think it was one of the trivia books. I had
Maybe you're right.
Because I got it and I fucked up. Well, yes. I got it, but fucked up, and whoever sold it to me did not note, or I was too dumb to realize that it was the hardcover, and so that's why I got rid of it that time.
Okay, cool.
Got to have that format uniformity on the shelf.
Because I mean, I have that book. I'm pretty sure I got it from you.
Yeah, if it is you, or regardless of whether it's you, it was definitely a hardcover.
Yes.
And then filling another X-Men gap, I have Counter X Generation X 4 Days with 2 colons. And this is from an era around 2000 where Warren Ellis took over a bunch of the B and C tier X-Men books. And so there's Chamber on the cover. And then we have 2 Hulk books from Greg Pak's run. We have a Savage Land arc, see with Kazar on the cover, and Zabu. And then we have the tie-ins for Chaos War. And so I think I'm down to just needing 1 of Greg Pak's Hulk books. It's the final one. And maybe Chaos War itself. And now, just got 1 more stack. This is also from that buy 5 for 20 seller or whatever, but these are not in that section. So we have volume 2 of, they call these books Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and the Heroes for Hire. I don't know why they can't just call it Heroes for Hire volume 2. I guess because those TV shows had recently come out when they collected this. And you can also see for the cover of the trade, they selected the cover that prominently features Deadpool as well. And this is a what?
Does he sell books or something?
Yep. So I've heard. And this is a like 1998 or 1999. No, it's all right. The series started in '97. Series by John Ostrander. It ran 19 issues, and it's pretty good. It's like in that weird gap period before Busiek's and Perez's Avengers started, where all of the main heroes were still in shitland over in Heroes Reborn, and so you had these kind of like lower tier books that were kind of hidden gems while the Avengers were and Fantastic Four were overdoing that. And so you had like this and Thunderbolts are the big examples. And I paid $8 for on a 35 cover. So this was a really good deal. And I had the first one.
Nice.
And then here is Journey into Mystery by Kieran Gillen, Complete Collection Volume 2. Also have the first one. So now that's done. This is the Loki series where he's Kid Loki.
You're not getting the omnibus, I guess?
No, because I had the first complete collection before the omnibus was announced.
Oh, okay.
So I was just waiting to find the second one for a good deal or something like that. And then my final pickup is the third Marvel Now-ish era Hawkeye hardcover, which this is the run by Jeff Lemire and Ramon Perez. And the hilarious thing is that on the back, as it notes, it collects All New Hawkeye 2015A 1-5 and All New Hawkeye 2015B 1-6, because Marvel is so trigger happy with relaunches that sometimes they have two books with the exact same title in the exact same year, which it's just sad.
So you should enjoy that book. It's a nice
Yeah.
You enjoy it for action. It's a nice little add-on, but it's not essential to reading it. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I read the first half as it was coming out. In fact, I think we read the first 2 or 3 issues together as a club.
Yeah.
That's back when
3 years ago.
Yeah, that's back when we were looking at all the issues that came out that week and trying to read the weekly ones.
Oh yeah.
And
that lasted for about 4 weeks.
Different people had different requests or whatever, and then whatever. And so I think Tina was hyped to read that series. And it's all right. The art's good, obviously, from Ramon Perez.
Did you get that one at the at that same place, the 521? Because I literally was like, look, I need that. I still need that hardcover too. I guess I missed it. Shoot. Oh well.
Yeah, I think there was just only one copy, so
yeah,
I was the one to grab it. And so those are all my books. And so I'll pass it along to Matthew.
Yeah, I'll go next. Okay, so first things first, I got some books from Mike I'm going to show off right quick. DC Nation #0 and Free Comic Book Day Being Spider-Man.
Oh, he was so generous.
He was really generous. Gave me 3 books.
One of those Matt actually wanted to read. The other was given to me from one of the vendors, and I was like, I already bought this. I don't need it. So
and I didn't have it, so why not?
And the Tom King Joker story in DC Nation is good. That's worth reading.
And Spider-Man looks great. I'm very excited. Now, in terms of stuff that I spent too much money on, Wolverine Weapon X by Barry Windsor-Smith. This is Logan's origin story.
The real one, not Origin from 2005. That doesn't count.
It's the only one that matters, really. And I also bought X-Men Epic Collection The Gift, which collects 189 through 198, and the Nightcrawler mini. It's Alpha Flight, which is some solid character development for Storm in here, who I'm a big fan of, and Nightcrawler mini, who I'm also a big fan of. Just some really great X-Men.
Have you read the Nightcrawler series?
Have I what?
Have you read that Nightcrawler series?
No, I haven't, and so I'm very excited to finally read it.
Well, because it's also written by Cockrum, I believe. I've never read it, really? So I think that will be interesting. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I remember on the first Harrisburg trip.
You're right, it is.
Dan almost bought it in issues.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. That should be great. In terms of books, that's actually all I bought, but I also got the Master Sword for way too much money.
It actually wasn't a bad price.
No, it's for a sword. It's fine. I didn't need this, but I bought it,
What
and
was
I'm
your
very
price
excited
reaction?
about it. They seemed all right with it, but Taylor was over at the time, which means if I'm gonna get yelled at, it'll be after she leaves, which is already left. So sooner rather than later.
The thing is, Matt needs a Master Shield to go with his Master Sword.
Yeah.
I need the Hylian shield, but like they were selling one there, but I didn't like it because it was really flat, and I wanted to be more bowed. So if
Is it
I see one that I
Hylian?
like,
Is it Hylian or Hylian?
Hylian, I believe it's Hylian.
All right. I don't remember when they would have necessarily said that in the games, anyways.
Yeah, I don't know that they would have. I mean, it's high rule, so I assume it's
beaten all
Hylian.
those games.
I have not beaten all of them. I have beaten most of them. So yeah, that's what I bought. That's my entire haul. I spent I spent $75.
Total?
Yeah, total.
That's
Okay.
not too bad.
No, it's fine.
I figured the sword was at least that much, so that's not bad.
No, the sword's 50. I
Yeah.
spent 25 on the books.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, I don't really know reference point for replica swords, but that's not terrible.
No, I don't
Pretty
either.
blunt
But like,
sword. That's the thing. It's not that sharp.
I'm pretending it was a steal because originally he said it was $70 and he was wrong. It was actually 50. So it sounds like a discount. It's not, but it sounds like one.
That's the trick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
The
real
discount
metal
is
and
it's
stuff.
actually broken, and when Matt's swinging around, the blade's gonna fly off and hit someone.
Well, I was gonna ask you that. Like, how are you gonna display that? Like, are you gonna like get like a thing, like a stand for it or something, or?
I guess
Around in
I don't.
public with it.
I'd like to like put it on my wall or something. I don't,
Yeah.
but I don't have room on my wall here, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. So for now, it sits by my bed.
Awesome. We'll keep
Yeah.
us posted.
Oh, I will.
Awesome.
I think Daniel's up next.
Is that mine up next? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm already done.
All right, so I kind of split up a little bit. I'll go with my single issues first, and then I'll get into my like trades and stuff like that. Some stuff is kind of redundant, so I'll just try to go through it really fast. So I have the issues in alphabetical order. So the first issue I got was Avengers 213, the Court Martial of Yellow Jacket, which I found for $1, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, I'm still hoping to find the Yellow Jacket trade because I know it's super out of print, but we'll see. I'm kind of excited. Is that it right there? You asshole! Yep. I want that so bad. But yeah, so this is a cool issue, cool cover, so got it. And then I was just looking for Avenger stuff that I've read in single issues to collect. So this is part of the Galactic Storm storyline. It's part 12 with Deathbird assassinating some of the Kree leaders on the Kree planet. So kind of cool. Deathbird's kind of cool, I guess. Let's see. I also got DC Nation for free from Wade's, and I bagged and boarded it. So nice.
Bagged and boarded.
Yeah, I don't know why I bagged and boarded it. And then I've got some Iron Man issues because, you know, I have 181 now. So why not just keep going until I can get them all? So I got Iron Man 304, Crash and Burn, with featuring Thunderstrike. So we already talked about that.
I want to interject real quick and say
go ahead.
The one thing I hesitated on at the end of the day was I was considering getting a full set of Thunderstrike 1 through 24, but I decided against it because I don't think the price was perfect.
How much was it?
It was $50, but I saw some on eBay, some sets going for like 40, 45.
Yeah.
So you didn't decide against it because Thunderstrike is dumb. You decided against it because you can get it cheaper somewhere else.
Correct on the second half.
Okay.
Yeah. Thunderstrike is cool.
Well,
yeah, I mean, he has some pretty cool moments in Galactic Storm where he like beats the shit out of was it Gladiator? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. He throws him to a black hole.
he's just Thor, but with a leather jacket.
Yeah.
Gladiator's
Well,
awesome. He kind of exists to like be beaten up, but he's awesome.
Well, yeah, he's also like the Imperial Guard is just DC characters, so Gladiator is yeah, Legion.
Yeah.
So Gladiator is, I guess, the Superboy / power, whatever. But Thunderstrike is cool. I would say Thunderstrike kind of like Thor meets Spider-Man because
Okay.
he's down to earth. He's not very good at being a superhero. He's written by Tom DeFalco and drawn by Ron Frenz.
Well, we've read a lot of Tom DeFalco Spider-Man, and that's not good.
Well, we're reading a different part of Tom DeFalco Spider-Man. But
yeah, his earlier stuff is fine, I guess.
and please resume before I get too much into Thunderstrike.
Okay. So I got more Iron Man. 312. This is the conclusion of the Hands of the Mandarin storyline, where Tony basically just beats the Mandarin with some weird armor loophole, like he always does.
Like every Iron Man story.
Not every Iron Man story, but most of them. This is Iron Man 317 with a promotion in the corner for ForceWorks. So yeah, this was not a good period of Iron Man.
317. That's near the end. I think he's Teen Tony at 325.
Yeah, it's getting there. The first volume ends at issue 332. So let's see. This is issue 322. So I think this is when this is Kid Tony Stark, I think. I'm not sure. I haven't read the stuff, so I'm not really sure, but just another issue to have in my collection. Iron Man Annual number 7, which features Goliath, but this is the guy. Goliath is what's his name? The guy
Eric Johnston.
Eric Johnston. Is
Well,
it
I think
Johnston's?
Johnston. No, it's Johnston,
Okay.
not the jeweler company.
Okay,
I think that's the issue when he becomes Goliath. I was actually reading about that like a day or two ago.
Yeah. So this is cool. It features the West Coast Avengers. So you can see here, Wonder Man's in the grasp of Goliath. So there's Hawkeye. Cool. And then just a bunch of Iron Man Volume 3 stuff. This is Live, Create, or Die, right? Part of the Live, Create, or Die storyline. Crossover with the Kurt Busiek Avengers. Nitro. One little short story there. Fing Fang Foom, first appearance in Iron Man Volume 3, I believe. So that's cool. He's a great Marvel or great Iron Man villain. Some more Iron Man teaming up with Warbird, not Miss Marvel. This is like I literally just read this, but I'm pretty sure this is not. I think this is Rhodey, but I think it's the War Machine armor, and like someone contracts it out. During this whole run, like Tony's not actually the CEO of Stark Industries. He's like a part of a separate group called Stark Solutions, I believe. So, his cousin, I think Morgan Stark, is running Stark Solutions. So
The
more
Stark Solutions, just like you walk in there and they hand you an alcoholic beverage.
No, he's not. He's not even drinking in this issue. I mean, let's say Carol Danvers is like the drunk in this run. That's Ultimo peeking his head out of the water.
Stark's solution is to drink yourself into a stupor.
No,
Well, that is the Stark Solution.
more Ultimo. Got the Iron Age, part 2 of 2. So I got both those now. I was just showing this. I actually didn't get this at the con. I got it actually today, but just a cool issue to have. I just read this series, so that was pretty fun. And then I got some Uncanny X-Men issues that you guys might like. This is when Storm fights the Morlocks, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe the story is called Aurora Thanks a Bitch.
Yeah. So, wait, what's it? What'd you say?
What?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Okay, here we go.
You didn't stutter, Dan.
Okay, I'm sorry. So there's that, and I actually just realized that the bag is on backwards, so I got to fix that. And then this is when Madeline Pryor becomes Phoenix for a hot second. I'm not a big fan of this cover, but I got it because I've read it, and it's cool. But yeah. So those are all the single issues. So I'll get into my trades. So I bought, like I said before, Scarlet Witch. by Joe Robinson. James Robinson. I'm sorry, James Robinson. Volumes 1 and 2. I just read these today, so the pretty good series. Now I just need to get Volume 3, which is the final hex. So we'll see if I can find that somewhere. Yeah, in that series, Quicksilver is an asshole. Like there's
In
one
that
issue.
series. In most series.
Yeah,
In most series.
But like this is like him trying to recruit like Wanda to fight in the Civil War II on Tony's side, and she's like, "I'm not gonna do anything," and he's like, he attacks her, and it's really kind of awkward. But
she needs to like stop listening to her brother after House of M.
Yeah,
she's just gonna go like, "Hey Pietro, no, you need to get out of my life because you're a terrible person, and we had sex in the Ultimate Universe."
Yeah, and
he's one of those characters that when he comes into any of the books I'm reading, I immediately just stop caring.
Yeah,
he's a great guest star. He's an asshole.
Yeah, like and just to mention that real quick with like the House of M stuff, like they really like she really talks about that a lot in this book, like feeling like upset about that whole thing. And I'm like, okay, so
I mean, she kind of should.
Yeah, I mean, she kind of fucked up there, but yeah, so
kind of.
Okay, a lot fucked up. Okay, so the next thing I got Silk. So now I have that whole series. So we'll see. I know I had volume 0 through 2, so I bought 3. So
do you see the subtitle on that book?
I know. It says Clone Conspiracy. So we'll see how bad it is.
Yeah, let's not glaze over that. You bought a Clone Conspiracy book. Hey guys, we're gonna read that.
20 episodes from now.
We're not reading.
God.
What?
Wait, I thought we were reading the Clone Conspiracy.
No, not the Silk issues.
Well, obviously, we still have to read it.
Clone Conspiracy. I
mean,
I don't know.
It's still all bad.
I don't know. We can debate that later.
Well, yeah. If I ever get to it, I'll report back on how bad it is. So Spider-Woman, Civil War II. Just getting some more of her Spider-Woman collection done. Yeah, this is a small trade. More Spider-Woman, new duds. This is before Secret Wars, a year before Secret Wars happens. So, S.H.I.E.L.D, Perfect Bullets. I read the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D book, which I thought was pretty cool. And I think this is also based off the TV people, so we'll see.
Yeah, more. That's a lot.
What?
That's a lot better than what I'm assuming you're talking about when you say the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D series.
Yeah, because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D 1 ran alongside, like it came out before Civil War II happened. Like it was around that same time. So this is earlier.
Yeah, the series is Mark Waid mostly, and each issue is basically Coulson teaming up with someone random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. We'll see how it is. I'm a big fan of the S.H.I.E.L.D series, like the TV show and all that stuff. I gotta catch up on it. So like we were talking about before we went on air, I bought the second volume of Spidey. I like the first one. It's kind of fun. It kind of like is like kind of goes back to like Peter's high school days, but it's
with
not
an iPad.
What'd you say?
He has an iPad in high school.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Do you understand what the continuity of that book's supposed to be? It's not 616. It can't be.
I mean, if on the wiki, I'm sure it's like TRN 8 whatever blah 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 blah. I'm sure that because it can't really be 616, but it's supposed to be time like 616, but sliding time scales. So technically, Pete would have an iPad in high school.
Sure, but like, that's not even what I'm concerned about because like he's hanging out with Harry Osborn and Gwen Stacy in high school, and he didn't know them until college. So like, this book just it confuses me.
No, he wouldn't have an iPad in high school, even with the sliding time scale, because he still would have been in high school in like the 80s or 90s.
Well, like
Peter Parker is currently written as like a 25-year-old at max.
He's written like a 15-year-old, but that's a different problem.
But like,
even though he's written as 25, that still doesn't make his age is around 28.
28 still. I mean, just remember the iPad. When did it come out? Like almost like 10 years ago at this point.
2010. Yeah.
So it might barely not work.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a fun book. I mean, all like all disregard to continuity aside. I mean, it's kind of fun. I mean,
I'm just saying. There's no way Aunt May and Uncle Ben could afford an iPad.
Well,
That's
no.
what I'm thinking more than anything else. Is that Ben's not Ben. Pete's not paying for an iPad with the salary Jonah pays him.
Neither is his aunt or uncle. He's
No.
getting the Toshiba Eye handy book at best.
It might have been the school may rent them out thanks to a grant from a rich benefactor.
Tony Stark.
Yeah,
Norman
always.
Norman Osborn. Even
Oh
better.
God, it's always Norman.
Like, my kid's going to the school. He's going to get an iPad.
Yeah,
Mr.
so
Osborne, your son just can't have one. Everyone needs one.
Like, all the iPads are green.
With the goblin on the back of them.
No, Goblin OS.
Goblin OS.
No, Gobby OS.
that's funny.
Norman, why is all your tech goblin themed?
Oh God.
Don't
Yeah,
worry
so
about it.
no, it's exciting. I mean,
Something in the costume in the corner.
Like standing in front of it.
to be honest, I don't think I know this is kind of unrelated to that, but I don't think the Goblin even appears in the first trade of this book. Like, there's like a lot of random villains that show up before I guess the Goblin shows up, but who cares? Moving on. I got Star-Lord stuff. Got volumes 2 and 3 of his 2015, 2014 series. So these came out I guess after the movie, kind of capitalizing on him as a character. I heard they're not great, but we'll give them a shot. We'll see what's in them. I like Star-Lord a lot. I read his original, there's a book out called Star-Lord Guardian of the Galaxy that has a lot of his first appearances and stuff. So I really like those. So I just want to see how different the books are with the new movie coming out. And this is the newest series that came out in 2016.
Fun fact: the Star-Lord in those first appearances is not the same character, and it's a different reality. Technically, the Star-Lord that we know now in the Guardians and in those books, I think technically his first appearance is Annihilation #6.
Okay.
It's just weird.
Wait, what?
It's not, I swear it was Peter Quill, though, right?
It is Peter Quill, but it's Peter Quill, because no other Marvel characters appear in those 70s stories, right?
No, yeah, it's just him.
It's just weird.
That's odd.
I didn't know that.
I'll double check it as you go on, Dan.
Yeah, go ahead. But yeah, so we'll see how this is. I mean, obviously this is gonna be a lot closer to the movie because Marvel likes to really capitalize on movies. No, these are in out of order. I got New Warriors Classic Volume 2. Okay. I'm not the one who has the omnibus, by the way, so for what it's worth. Let's see. New Warriors Classic Volume 3. So we'll see how these go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got all 3 of those.
Voluntary response to the words "the New Warriors."
Okay, well that's you.
Check out the Saga, the Clone Saga, where we read the New Warriors and hate ourselves.
Also, Earth 616 Peter Quill, I was slightly wrong. First appearance, Thanos #8 from June 2004.
That's weird. Yeah. Let's see. I got The Inhumans by Paul Jenkins and J. Lee. So that's cool. We'll see. So that's pretty much it, right? That's just issues 1 through 12, and that was it of that whole series.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of spun off into some other things later, but some of it's not collected and none of it's good.
Okay. The next book I got, The Avengers Absolute Vision Volume 2, which was on my list, and I was kind of excited. I found it for $5 because this is pretty thick. It's about the size of an Epic collection. So I just got to find Volume 1, and then I'll have this all together. Just some Volume 1 Avenger stuff, 242, 254.
Yeah, the Absolute Vision arc / Mega arc is basically the start of Roger Stern's run on Avengers.
Yeah, and I'm excited because I really enjoyed the 2 Epic collections, Under Siege and Judgment Day, with his runs. So we'll see. Black Knight on the cover. Cool stuff. Those
are unrelated thoughts. Black Knight cover and cool stuff. It's unrelated.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I like Black Knight in the stories.
But
Though.
did you hear he's getting his own miniseries?
Yeah. What the fault? Wait.
No, that was like 3 years ago, dude. Don't worry about it.
Here.
No, because I have the Black Knight miniseries, The Fall of Dane Whitman. Is that the one you're referring to?
No.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I think it is because
Oh, is it actually?
Because I've already read it.
none of the other Black Knight series has been collected. He definitely does not have the Atlas era Masterworks because that took me a long time to get.
Yeah, I definitely don't have those. Just 2 more books here real quick. I got Captain America Epic Collection, Justice is Served. This is continuing Mark Grunwald's run on Captain America, so hopefully I can get all this collected. I know Marvel just released another Epic Collection of Grunwald stuff on the Bloodstone Hunt, so I'm probably going to try to pick that up. I already have the Society of Serpents one, so he has a pretty lengthy run. It's like, what, like 150 issues?
Yep.
Yeah, kind of like that. So I've heard really good things about him. Rest in peace, Mark Grunwald as well. Let's see. And then also, not to redo this again, but I also bought Thor Epic Collection War of the Pantheons. Same place as Vince. It was $15, which, for Epic Collection, it's a pretty good deal. So that's why I jumped on it. And it also is continued off of Simonson's Omnibus. So a little marathon I'll have there. And that is all my shit.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Spack, you're up.
All right.
Oh, I forgot Specs let it go. I thought we were done.
Yeah. No, I have stuff.
That's it, guys.
All right. The easiest way for me to do this, I'm actually going to sit this on the ground and just pick it out that way. Yeah. So first thing I'm going to do, I want to get the 2 Daredevil. I'm going to get all the Daredevil stuff out of the way first. So I got the 2 Epic collections so far for Ann Machete's run and John Romita Jr.'s, which is Touch of Typhoid, where he fights Typhoid Mary, and Heart of Darkness, where he fights Ultron. So that'll be good. So you got some good art there. And then I also found this somewhere else. This was a Marvel Knights series from Zeb Wells, Daredevil battling Jack Murdoch, which is like all about Jack, so that'll be cool. Get those out of the way set early. Most of these, minus one of them, so are my like from the same vendor. We did that 5 for 20 thing. These were the 5 I got. I got Steve Rogers Super Soldier, X-Men, Wolverine, and Gambit. So Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, they're gonna draw Wolverine and Gambit. So that's a loan for me. Not really. Jeff Loeb's real hit or miss. So Invincible Iron Man Volume 7, My Monsters, and Volume 8, Unfixable. That continues where I have to grab like only 4 or some more books now for my set of completing Fractions run. Yep. And then I got Red Skull Incarnate by Greg Pak in Mirko Kolick, which is like this. I don't know. It's the alternate take, right? I guess because he did Magneto Testament, so this is the Red Skull version of that.
The other side of the coin.
Yeah, the other side of the coin. So I read about a crazy dude who becomes a Nazi.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
I mean, it's gonna be entertaining. I mean, Nazism is not entertaining, but it's gonna be Red Skull. I find entertaining.
I'm glad you just claimed that.
Yeah, we have to clarify that there.
Yeah.
Like Matt, I also bought Weapon X, just because you need that on the shelf.
Yeah, I'm surprised
I also bought Siege because I have the other Marvel events. I might as well own all of them.
Yep.
At least to the point where I care. You got X-Men Longshot, which is his miniseries. Some nice Art Adams art there. Did Anna Shetty write this too?
Correct. Yeah. So you got a Innocenti haul. You should
haul.
have her run on Green Arrow.
No, I shouldn't. Because it's New 52 Green Arrow and it's terrible. Fun fact: I own New 52 Green Arrow #1.
Nice.
It's terrible. Got the second complete collection for Jeff Johns' run on Avengers,
Nice.
which is nice because I need that completed because I read Volume 1 and I liked it. Right before Bendis came in and messed it all up.
Well, you're skipping over Chuck Austin, who also messed it up.
You also
Yeah.
Thor, the complete collection for Kieran Gillen, which is the follow-up to JMS. I have the JMS Omnibus and need this to complete the story, but I really like
JMS?
JMS's run.
Omnibus?
Yeah. So
Yep.
when'd you get that?
It's out of print.
Wait, he was on the book long enough to put out an omnibus?
It's a smaller omnibus.
Yeah,
I thought.
It's only like probably 19, 20 issues.
Yeah.
it's not big.
I mean, it's about the size of like the Brubaker ones.
Yeah, but it was also thicker paper back then.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was probably like one of the smallest they did at that time.
If they reprinted that today, it would probably look very oddly thin.
Mm-hmm.
And then found this in a $5 rack this is where I got Siege, which is the Fantastic Four collection, All in the Family, which is Roger Stern's run, along with some Steve Englehart stuff there. I don't know, Vince, you know more about this than I do, so.
It directly follows John Byrne, and I mean, I guess Roger Stern counts as a run, but it's not very long. And then I think there's a few fill-ins, and then Steve Englehart starts his run, which is when Steve Englehart tries to actually do some major status quo changes, which I guess John Byrne did a lot of with like She-Hulk and fixing Galactus and stuff like that. But
well, the back of the book is Ben is back because Ben leaves in
around Secret Wars.
Yeah, he leaves John Byrne's run, but this is him coming back to the team. But this also collects Fantastic Four versus the X-Men miniseries, so that'll be fun to read.
Oh, yeah, it's cool.
Which I can't remember. Where else is that collected?
I mean, there is like a premiere hardcover or a trade, which just includes the FF versus X-Men and X-Men versus Avengers together.
Yeah.
But there's the possibility that one or both of those will be in any additional Uncanny X-Men collections.
This is the last thing I bought at the con, but I got two more things after this as like a little tack on. I bought the Uncanny Avengers Omnibus.
Nice.
Which when I'm talking about this, it's like the book with all my favorite characters in it, and I like Rick Remender, so this is going to be fun. Also, possibly the last time John Cassaday's art looked good. So
you should go back to Ollie's and grab Axis.
I was about to say I have to go to Ollie's and grab the Axis hardcover because that's the only way this story makes sense, and because that's where it wraps up.
Yeah, I have to assume that like Cassaday had a stroke around the same time Secret Wars happened because his art, man.
All right, and Vince, you mentioned Ollie's. Well, traveling back to State College, I took a wrong turn after leaving the Sunoco station and ended up in a parking lot. And lo and behold, there was an Ollie's there. And I was like, I got time to kill. So I bought 3 more books. Getting this one out of the way early because I don't own it. And like I said, if I have the other Marvel events from like the mid-aughts, I might as well own this one. I have Civil War now. Yay. And then I got Doctor Strange Origin, which is just the retitled season 1 book that apparently is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, it's great by Greg Pak and the art. Emma Rios is the artist, but the art looks pretty sweet. And then there's an ad for a much better book in the back.
The Oath.
Yeah, the Oath.
I think there's an ad for The Oath in every Strange book. I think there's an ad for
because it's the one book you can. Forever, it was the only book you could buy.
I think that there's an ad for The Oath in The Oath.
And I'd like to say that on the Harrisburg Hall, everything was DC books except for single issues. So this time it was all Marvel books but this last book broke the streak for that. because I saw it because most of the Ollie stuff is discounted liquidated DC books. Though from what I'm hearing, they're getting more Marvel stuff in starting this week. So if you're near an Ollie's, go check that out.
I might need to. When you go
Though they're not as discounted as the DC stuff is.
Mm.
So, but I did get Superman: The Coming of Atlas by James Robinson. So,
Is that Carrion?
No, it's Atlas.
Atlas.
Kirby creation.
I mean, I figured it wasn't Carrion.
He fucks Superman right up in this book, though.
And that and Jeff Johns' Brainiac arc, the two of them are kind of like the prelude to New Krypton, which I know you've been interested in. So if and when you eventually get to that, that'll be a good thing to read before.
Apparently, Jack Kirby created Atlas, so
yeah. In fact, in that trade, they probably
it has the backup. It's in the back.
Yeah, from first issue special.
Matt, this is Doctor Strange and the Secret Defenders.
There you go.
It's on the back cover.
Yep.
That's funny. I want to see if it's in the Epic Collection now.
I will not be surprised.
Probably is. It's like we said, for a while it was the only book you could buy.
Oh no, it's not. Darn.
Isn't it the front cover?
No, I tried the front cover too. It's just promos for like the Epic Collection line. Let me see if I can find the other one.
No, but I'm pretty excited to read this stuff when I get around to it in 2025.
2025. Yeah, like I need to. I actually don't have too much more I need to read before I can get into this. I need to finish reading Wade and Ring Up FF, which I started a couple days ago, and is a lot of fun.
I recently bought that,
and I can get this even some of this.
It's on my way to my house now.
I just need volume 4 of that, which I can't find it in like any store ever. But I guess I'll have to order online for like $10. So rip.
I've been reading Peter David's Hulk for the past like week, and I'll probably be reading it for the next like 5 weeks. It's 150 issues. But I'll probably take a break.
Yeah, there's no way you're gonna read 150 straight issues of Hulk. You're gonna take a break and like read something small.
Yeah, I'll have to switch to something else. All right. So, anyone have any final thoughts on their experiences?
Was my first time actually ever walking on the streets of Philadelphia. I've only been in there for like a Sixers game. I'm gonna say your city's very dirty, and I prefer Pittsburgh more.
I think I definitely got diseases because I'm an idiot and thought, you know what? I'm just gonna like put soles on the bottom of my Spider-Man costume and not worry about shoes. So I walked through the city without shoes on.
I was happy that I got to see some genuine Philadelphia people, as I saw a white guy yelling at another white man, and then as he walked away, yells, "Fucking white people."
Wasn't he yelling at a woman?
Yeah, he was yelling at a woman and her boyfriend.
Yeah, I didn't see the guy. And then he starts yelling about like white privilege while he's like this giant, obese, bearded man who's white himself. And he was like yelling bitch at this girl. It was so weird.
Yeah,
it was when we went
a freaking vagina.
And I was like, Jesus Christ. And I was like, it's funny because I was like walking alongside like Mikey and Damone, who are like this by happenstance, the two black people that were with us, and we're like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
I guess, and as I was leaving at that Sunoco station, Matt, did you notice that weird guy come up to me and be like, "Hey, my dog's locked in my car"? I'm like, "Can you help me get him out?" I was just like, this is the oldest thing they teach you not to go help you with.
My dog's locked in my car?
I was like, no, I'm not helping you, you strange man. I saw you talking with your friend across the parking lot.
I know your dog out of your car. That is
creepy.
No, I didn't see that. I did see you turn the wrong way. We were right behind you, and Taylor's like, he just turned the wrong way. I'm like, yep. Yours gone.
But it took me to Ollie's, so it was all right.
So it worked out. Did any of you see the Man Thing cosplay Selena was talking about? I didn't, and I'm really upset.
I did not. Though, actually, I saw one of my friends on Facebook who apparently was there also. He went to the Sebastian Stan meetup as well. And apparently there were some incidents with Sebastian Stan's fans, and they had to instruct people meeting him no biting. Because apparently someone like tried to bite his face. I don't know what happened.
It's still not as good as a guy getting stabbed in the eye in Hall H of Comic-Con right after the Avengers premiere.
Oh God.
Because listen, it's one of my favorite stories because the Avengers were right there. There was a man to be avenged, and they were like, "Yo, not until May 19th."
Yeah. Oh
Man.
That's
Fans suck.
That's true. And sometimes I suck.
Yeah, well,
what were some good cosplays we saw? There was that really good Spider-Gwen, and Ginger Dan can attest to that. We also saw Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
There was a good Hela.
Did anyone see the really bad like clown with like the green like the greenish yellowish like neon like jumpsuit? And he's like it was really strange.
Are you talking about the like obese guy?
Really tall one?
Yeah, it was really bad.
It was this guy we walked by. He was like very overweight, and he had like a low cut. Like,
yeah,
I saw that. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah,
They were like
showing up too, like the whole.
The better one I saw, because it was raining on our way into the con, there was a guy in a full suit with Joker makeup on, and he was, I think, by himself and just looked the most miserable human being I've ever seen. Because it was like 10 in the morning. He'd had to go on a train to get there. So he'd had to like waking up at like 5 or 6 in the morning at this point. He's just like, he was done before he even got in the building.
Yeah.
There were these clowns on stilts.
Yeah.
I'm sure you saw them while you guys were out getting food. Dan, remember when he straight up attacked a woman?
Yeah, like he literally grabbed her neck like for a picture, and I don't think she was expecting it. So like she was kind of scared, I guess, that he's gonna like snap her neck or something.
Apparently, he didn't read the signs because cosplay does not equal consent.
Yeah, and he's like jumping around and shit too. And like he's like went underneath like this overhang, and like he got really close. Like if he would have jumped like underneath that overhang, he probably would have like hit his head coming back up because it was like.
And he was like chasing people who were visibly uncomfortable with him. Like did not want him near them, and he chased them around. And his friend was so embarrassed by him, he went and hid behind a wall with his mask off.
There was a guy dressed up as Thor that was yelling at any Loki that he saw.
Yeah.
Oh, I fought a Kingpin.
What?
Kingpin?
The Kingpin, and he fought me, and I'm like, okay, so is it inappropriate to quip because all the Kingpin quips are fat jokes? I don't want to just call this guy fat, and so it's kind of awkward where I'm standing there, like I'm like, is it okay to go into character at this point, or so it's kind of awkward.
I don't like the Kingpin as a Spider-Man villain.
Well, you're wrong, but that's okay.
He's a racist Spider-Man.
Sorry, it's Daredevil's villain.
He stole him.
He stole him. Hey.
Yeah, but he made him more interesting anyway.
He says that right in here, in this book.
Really?
Yeah, he does. He says. Here, let me see if I can find it.
Says Daredevil stole my villain?
He's not my arch nemesis anymore since stupid Daredevil stole him.
That's kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about that. It's too meta.
Did anyone see? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say he's the mayor of New York right now.
Yeah, like I'm kind of cool with that. Honestly, I like the idea of Wilson Fisk being mayor more than Jonah.
Did anybody see the stormtroopers with like the beatbox walking around?
No,
it was really fucking annoying.
I saw Bob McLeod sitting by himself and looking sad.
Bob McLeod looks so depressed.
Yeah.
Met Mike Grell and what probably was his wife, and they were very nice people.
Well, there was a vendor across from Bob, pretty much across from Bob McLeod, who was selling New Mutants #1 for like $30. So you could have bought that and then brought it over to Bob and have Bob sign it, but like I'm not paying that much money.
The vendor could have taken that and brought it over to Bob and had him sign it and raised the price by $30.
Yeah, I was very smart there. That's funny.
I don't know. I don't want to shit talk Bob McLeod, but what did he only draw like 4 issues of the ongoing?
Something like that. Yeah.
He did the OGN and then like 3 or 4 issues.
Yeah.
And then I think he had timeliness or deadline problems back then, which is understandable because his art was really great.
It was really good.
But then like most of the rest of his career, he's known for inking. He inked Superman books in the 90s for a long time, but like inkers, just the way like comics fandom works, like you don't go crazy over an inker.
Yeah.
No, an inker or a penciler.
I mean, all they do is trace anyway. So
Who was the inker that was at NitneyCon?
Bob McLeod.
No, Bob Wyachek.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
No, if they had both Claremont and McLeod there, that would have been kind of cool.
Yeah.
But no.
I don't know. It's kind of interesting because obviously they had Steranko, they had Grell. Those are big names. They had Capullo, which is like
Yeah.
some of the biggest names you can get in comics right now. But for whatever reason, I feel like PhillyCon less like huge pros go. And I don't know what the deal is because like for comparison, one of our friends lives in the Boston area, and like Boston Con gets like a shitload of like high profile guests, and like that's got to be smaller than PhillyCon.
Well, Detroit Con was the same weekend, and Frank Quietly and I think Gail Simone and Jim Starlin were all there.
Yeah. So I don't know what I have no idea. I mean, a lot of the things with the guests is, especially if you're a certain profile, the con is usually paying you a certain amount. Especially like that's how people like, you know, like old Star Trek cast members and stuff, where their careers at this point is just road tripping from con to con.
Mhm.
And that's like
Watch Galaxy Quest. It's a movie all about that.
Yeah, and that's practically what Stan Lee did for like 10 years or whatever. And so I don't know if that's just like the way PhillyCon works, where like they don't attract that kind of talent. I don't know.
There's no writers were there.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed that Fingeroth wasn't there this year because he normally is.
Yeah, he's been at least the past like 2 or 3.
And having having read some of the Clone Saga at this point, I'm sure we would have had a very awkward conversation with him about his thought process during that time.
Should have done some guerrilla recording and did a live fill-in episode.
That honestly would have been a lot of fun.
We're live from the floor at PhillyCon here with Danny Fingeroth.
And also, I'm pretty certain, I mean, he could have moved within the past 2 years or so, but I'm pretty certain J.G. Jones lives in the Philly area. And he, as far as I can remember, he's been at PhillyCon for the past like 6 years, and he wasn't there either, which was surprising.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was an enjoyable con. I got some nice deals.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Capullo wears sunglasses inside.
I got a sword. He drew Spawn for a while. Of course he draws sunglasses inside. Wears sunglasses inside.
He draws his own sunglasses on himself?
He does. He's very talented.
Shout out to Greg Capullo. Shout out to everyone watching this. And thank you for watching. And maybe there will be a second or third part of this video with other attendees. Watch out for that. Like and subscribe so you can see that.
Yeah, man.
And peace.
Get up safe.